Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to another interview on the Recruiter Enablement channel on YouTube. I'm here with Caroline Gleeson from Occupop, and we're going to be talking about recruiter enablement. So, Caroline, thank you for joining me, and give us a quick introduction to you. Tell us a bit about your background and what you do today.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for having me on. It's great to be here. And as you've mentioned, I'm Caroline. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Occupop. And for anyone who hasn't heard of Occupop, it's an applicant tracking software built for in-house recruitment teams. And I suppose a bit about me. Before starting up Occupop, I worked in recruitment myself for quite a long time. So I suppose it was working in the industry along with my co-founder as well that we really saw the difficulties, the challenges that hiring managers were facing, agency recruiters were facing, candidates as well. And I suppose it was around that time when we kind of started to ideate around Occupop and take the plunge in creating a startup. There was a lot of industries being transformed by technology. Like you had Airbnb in the hospitality industry, which was totally revolutionizing hospitality, My Taxi, Uber in transport. So we kind of were like, why not in recruitment? And there was technology around at the time. Our experience with it, a lot of it was quite legacy and archaic, cumbersome. And we wanted to create something really light and something that was built by recruiters for recruiters because, we understood the challenges. We knew what was needed, and Occupop was born. um, and yeah, we've been working away at Occupop now for the last 7 years, and really what we're all about, it's an applicant tracking software. It's all about giving recruiters the tools to find and hire the best people for their business.
Mm. Okay, we'll come on to Occupop again in a minute. Um, but tell me about recruiter enablement. Like, what does that term mean to you? What is it?
Yeah, like it's funny because like it's kind of, I hear it everywhere now. And it's kind of like it's got a name, but for me, we love it in Occupop, but it's something we've been doing, I think, for so long, because Occupop obviously is a tool that enables recruiters, and everything we do with regard to our features is all about you know helping recruiters make their job easier, more efficient, reducing time to hire, cost to hire. It's all we do. We eat, breathe, and sleep it. And aside from that, though, we have always been advocates around kind of. Um, I know in the really early days, we were kind of thinking about how we wanted to position Occupop, and I was saying, I kind of want Occupop to sort of be like a sensei, and an all-wise mentor, kind of sharing the knowledge. So we obviously receive a lot of data, so we have a lot of internal knowledge, and it's about kind of how can we push that back out. So we've always been really big on providing industry report insights. We have a lot of templates on our website. A few actually I have here I wanted to mention, just in case people were interested. So we have a salary benchmark reporting template, a HR department setup checklist, for template for SMEs, HR KPI, dashboard template on Excel. We have so many of them, and we've a lot more resources on our website which are there to kind of support recruiters. So we've been doing it for a long time. I think probably before the name or the phrase was coined. So we're loving now that it's really gaining momentum, and it's becoming a household. I suppose idea that this is something that, and companies are now investing in it. They're investing in the training, not just the tools which they've probably been doing for a while, but investing in, I suppose, extra level in terms of recruitment enablement tools. And it's not just us. There's a lot more out there that's coming, which is very exciting to see in the space.
Yeah, do you know, it's interesting what you said about you've kind of you didn't necessarily call it that, but you've been doing it forever. And I do believe very much that if we give something a name and we give it frameworks, then all of the things that the people who have been the very best practitioners, which have been doing it all for a long time, all of the kind of laggards, let's face it, like most people are not doing sophisticated things. They've got something that they can use as a frame of reference, and they can, if we put some guardrails around it, and we put some modules into it, if you like, around like the thinking about it, it means that we can start to create global standards. And so it doesn't
Absolutely.
surprise me that you know, this sort of things, the sort of thing you've been thinking about for a long time anyway, and practicing.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. And I think it's about elevating it now. It's like, how do we take it to the next level? And I do think putting structures around it will certainly be beneficial and help it. I think it can be quite what's the word I'm looking for? Not complex, abstract. So
Yes.
it's about kind of bringing everything together and having it, very tangible for, and we operate in the SME space. So like we're dealing with companies that may not have large recruitment teams, may not have invested in a lot of that already. So how do we, how do these companies implement it without spending huge amounts of money? So it's making it more affordable and tangible and applicable across the board, I think.
Yeah, really great description. Abstract. It is an abstract concept that without specificity could mean a lot of different things. And actually why I'm doing this channel is to try and add a bit of specificity to it. So let's talk a bit more detail about Occupop. Like, who's it for? I know it's an applicant tracking solution, but what are the different things we can do with it? And what types of organizations should be looking at Occupop as a provider?
Yeah, sure. So I suppose, as I mentioned previously, we very much work in the SME space. So, we do have, large and small companies, but typically where we tend to kind of operate and add the most value is companies that are kind of ranging between like 50 to 1,000 employees.
Yep.
And of typically these organizations tend to have seasonality, high churn, or recruiting often enough. If you're recruiting once a year, you may not need to invest in an applicant tracking software.
Hmm.
So that's where we would, healthcare, hospitality, retail, facilities management, they would be our strongest sectors, and we would be very strong across Ireland and the UK in those industries. Um, and essentially from HR directors to HR admins, they're using our software. There's different permission, different roles on the software. So depending on what information you need, what view you need, we provide it. And how we essentially, I suppose, break the product up is across three, I suppose, kind of headings would be engage, manage, and report. And all of our features kind of would fall under those funnels. And engage essentially is all about candidate engagement. So we would have a lot of features kind of geared towards that, automated job posting, multi-channel job posting. We have AI screening to help kind of use CV matching against job description. We also have smart screening, so you can actually calibrate questions that also help to filter candidates further, filtering templates, interview scheduling, SMS interview reminders. It's all around kind of getting that engagement with the candidate and kind of building that relationship with the candidate effortlessly, but while also maintaining a strong candidate experience, because that's really what you need to be thinking of all the time. With manage, it's then once you have that candidate in your funnel, how are you managing them through the hiring process? So the features that we would have, all around kind of having workflows, email templates, e-signature. There's lots of features there to help kind of automate that process and still maintain the candidate experience, but make that process, enable that process for recruiters. And then on the reporting side, it really is examining all of the data across the system and showing you, where you're getting your hires from, how long it's taking you to hire, where are the bottlenecks, where are you rejecting, like what's the biggest source of candidates that aren't moving through the hiring flow, because that's also important. You need to understand, particularly if you're spending budget on different job boards, you want to know where your candidates are coming from, but you also want to know where they're not coming from, or what's not a successful channel, because maybe then you need to reduce costs there, reduce
Mm,
spend there. um
yeah.
And we also have introduced new features around kind of tracking why you mightn't progress with a candidate, and that's reported on as well. So you can then understand what kind of candidates you're attracting, or are your job descriptions attracting a certain, maybe they're misleading, and you're constantly seeing that the candidate isn't lining up with your expectations, and that could be then identifying for you in your process that your job descriptions need work. So it's all kind of around providing that data, that information to inform recruiters on what's working in the process and what's not. And some exciting things we have in the pipeline, which I wanted to mention, and actually these are free tools. Obviously, I'm sure everyone is no stranger to ChatGPT now. It's being used by everyone, but actually what we're looking at building, and we're hoping to go live with it in July, is a prompt database. And essentially, so essentially it'll be a database of prompts that recruiters can then use with ChatGPT. So if they wanted information, and just to give you an example, I have it up here. So day-to-day time hacks, sourcing and assessment prompts, training and development prompts, hiring strategy prompts, job advertising prompts, and recruitment marketing prompts. So, if you needed help with creating a Boolean string or anything like that, it's just giving you the prompts that you can then use in ChatGPT, so to kind of go ahead with your process there. So, and that's a free tool we're going to be putting on our website. So it's not just about in-app. We do a lot on the public website as well.
Wonderful. So even if you're not an Occupop user, you need to be following Occupop for these free recruiter enablement solutions, because that is the epitome of a recruiter enablement solution, a prompt database. I firmly believe that ChatGPT will help you to churn out lots of average content, or if you are a really great writer and you can create great prompts, or you're an average writer and can use pre-built prompts from Occupop, you're going to be able to create really great content with ChatGPT.
Well, that's exactly the crux of it, because, and I'm sure you've experienced it yourself, if you go and ask ChatGPT a question, you can get such varying answers, and you really need to drill down and be so specific to get the right answer. And then that can take time. So that's what we're doing. We're building this library, and we're going to continuously add to it, so it will grow. But just to kind of make that a lot more seamless for everybody.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, well, you're ticking a lot of my recruiter enablement boxes with a lot of the things you're offering around the data and templates and things like that. So, Caroline, thanks very much for taking the time to join me. What's the website?
Thanks for having me. It's www.occupop.com.
Excellent, the .com. Well done. Okay, thanks, Caroline.
Cheers, Adam. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.